Hello everyone and welcome to Accessible 3D. My name is Edis, as some of you know, and I am 100% blind. And I feel like I just need to say that briefly because I've seen some recent comments not understanding what the funny noise in the background is, but that's just my screen reader. Anyway, in today's video, I'll be showing you how you can clear a clog in your AMS. And you can do that even as a blind person, and I would actually think that it's a bit easier to do it without sight, and you'll see later why. But first, let me just show you my latest creation. It's a fully articulated guide dog. So you can see it can move its legs freely, its paws. I just need to glue the handle to it, but yeah, it's pretty. It's my first articulated model, print in place articulation, and I originally made it for my wonderful girlfriend. And and you see the small basket. I put some chocolate in there. It was originally meant to be a Valentine's gift, but me being blind and creating something as complex as this, it's a way over due date. But anyway, I'm just gonna place this here. Let's start this wonderful project here. What you need, first of all, is you need a hex key, and you need that to loosen some screws a bit later. I'll show you that. If you have any filament in your AMS, you obviously start by removing that, and I'll just do that. And here this is some PVA that I've been working with. The first roll here. It's wonderful actually to work with because, well, as a blind person, it can be sometimes difficult to remove supports because sometimes it can be tough to feel where to start, like by breaking off the support. Sometimes that's difficult, so it's much easier to just put it into water and take it up a couple of hours later, and then that's it. All right, once you have removed your filament, the first thing you need to do is to disconnect the PTFE tube. And you can do that by inside of your AMS, there is this small kind of tab. I don't know if you can see it down here, but it's you'll be able to feel it if you take your hand. For those of you who are blind, if you take your hand and just feel from in the slot where A2 is, if you just feel upwards there, you'll be able to feel a small kind of tab. And you press that down, and then you can just pull out the PTFE tube. Now once that is done, you will need to disconnect the cable on the back that connects the AMS to the printer. You can just pull that out like this, and then you have your AMS completely free of the printer. Now, what you want to do, I mean, as you can see, I have a lot of like these small bags for moisture. You want to remove all of that first. So let me see if I've taken up everything. Not quite, but I'm getting there. And once you've done that, the second part comes into play, and this is where I think it sometimes can be beneficial to actually just use your hands and feel what you're doing rather than just trying to see everything, because what we'll be doing here is working with something that's very, very small, very very tough, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. Anyway, now I've removed all these small bags, and what you want to do now is you have to loosen two screws that hold the bottom of the AMS to the box itself. And to find those, they are placed right above you have these like two small, you'll be able to feel it, kind of a small grid if you feel where your A1 slot is. There's like a small grid with one more of these small bags for moisture is put. And in the left corner, there's like a small hole where you can fit your Allen key down into it. And this is pretty good engineering, I would say, because your key fits right down there. And to loosen it, turn it. That's pretty simple. And I'm gonna do that. And now the thing is here that you cannot pull out the screw here. You'll have to wait with that. So we have loosened the first screw, and then we go to the right side. It's exactly the same thing. And you put down your Allen key, your hex key, and you loosen just easily. Now, once this is done, now here comes let me just make sure I've done this correctly. I think I have. Once you've done this, as you can see and probably hear, it's loose now. Now, what you want to do now is you want to let me just see here. Yeah. You want to push down the tab that we used before to loosen the PTFE tube. Because right now, that part is a bit, you can see it's kind of difficult, but all right. So you have to kind of get it over without breaking the tab, so you just need to be a little careful. Here you go. All right. So as you can see here, you can lift it up, but don't just pull it up, because there are some cables that you need to loosen. And I don't know if you can see it underneath here, but there are two cables that are connected. And what you need those cables loosened. And this is actually where it's easier to just use your fingers, because this is very small, and it's some very small connectors. So what you want to do is you take the right cable first. Well, I will do that, and carefully you pull it upwards, like vertically. There you go. And then you take the left cable and also pull it up vertically, carefully. Here you go. Now you have successfully removed the AMS, and now you can proceed to removing the clog. Now let me just show you that, because, well, before we do that, we just need to make sure the screws are, I'm gonna put this one there and this one there. So as you can see, the back of the AMS here, you'll see different PTFE tubes running, to where the filament is being loaded. And this is usually where you would have a clog if it's inside. And what you can do, you have these small rings. If you feel it with your hands, with your fingers, it's kind of, if you just push down on it, then you will be able to pull out one of the tubes. And then you can just push a fresh filament through to see if that's the one that has the clog. Because, I mean, if you can see, of course you can see right away what is wrong. But if you can't, if you're blind, you'll have to either have someone tell you which of the tubes is clogged, or you can just pull them out one by one and try sticking some filament through. Now, once you're done with that, you want to reinstall the AMS. And I'm just gonna take these screws. I'm gonna put it down here. And now we have to connect these cables once again. And for those of you who are blind, you can just feel, I mean, the left cable, the right cable, sorry, that's more, it's a bit thinner, whereas the left one is kind of like broad. You'll probably understand what I'm saying when you touch it. And like you did before, you want to replace the cables. And here, let me just see here. That's kind of, even for me, this is right. So here we go. I'm gonna take the left cable first and go there. Here we go. I got it there. And then the right one. And I'm gonna put this, let me just feel, down here. Gotta have some nifty fingers here. It should go right down. Let me just see. Yeah, it needs to go down here. There we go. All right. And you put this back in place. Of course, be mindful of this small tab here. There you go. And now what you want to do is you want to take one of the screws. And you can just basically drop it into the hole, because it will just be guided right down into the spot where it needs to go. And then you put down your hex key and you tighten. Here you go. All right, that's tightened. And take the other one, drop it down and tighten. And this is tightened too. You drop all your bags into their spots, or wherever you want to do that. Just make sure that it doesn't block the rollers or whatever that's called. And once you've done that, there you go. There you go. Once you've done that, you can just take your rolls of filament, put them back. I have this one here. There we go. And I have the purple one right beside it. There we go. Here. Let me just see if this is. Yeah, I think this is placed correctly. Great. And the last one is the PVA. Now that I've had this out in the open, I probably can't use it before I dry it again. That's the difficult part with working with something like PVA. Now once that's done, you can place it back on your printer or wherever you have it stored. you take the PTFE tube that you disconnected, put it in, and that's back. And then you can take this one and connect your printer connect your AMS once again. And that's it. It appears as though it's working. All right, ladies and gents, that was it. I hope you found this video to be informational, inspirational, all that good stuff. And if you did, don't forget, I usually don't say it, but I'll say it once. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And don't forget to go to my website and download this wonderful dog. So yeah, thanks for watching and take care out there.